Okay, we're recording. So welcome to the Texas Immersive Info Session. I am Professor Erin Riley. I'm the founding director of Texas Immersive, which we launched just this spring semester with our first cohort of explorers. I think there's 25 of you, right, Sarah? A little background about me. I was recruited to UT, Moody College of Communication 2 years ago, to be the first director of innovation and entrepreneurship for the college. My professor position is in the Stan Richards School of Advertising and PR, where we've launched this new sequence, Texas Immersive, in relation to Texas Creative and Texas Media and Analytics. This is the first sequence, though, that is interdisciplinary, meaning we are encouraging students not just in advertising and PR to join, but also students across UT, whether you are in computer science, fine arts, radio, TV, film. It can even be within Moody College of Communication if you're in a different department or school. We encourage you to also think about immersive. So why would you join this thriving new industry? This is definitely a new field that's emerged. What we're looking for in students is students that, are curious above all, are not only curious about the future of a variety of fields, whether it's the future of media and entertainment, future of advertising, future of theater, future of pop-up events, experiential marketing. All of those are areas that we provide lots of examples on how audience storytelling and emerging technology is converging. And for students, I really look for students who not only are wanting or are tech savvy, but they really want to build their own box, right? Not even think outside the box, but build their own box, and are also very collaborative and team oriented. Immersive is interdisciplinary, so you really have to respect other people's expertise that they're bringing to the table, really be transparent and learn to work with people that have different personalities and that have different skills so that you can make the best experiences. So let's dive into the possibilities of what your future could hold. As I shared, this is an interdisciplinary field, and with that comes a very rich history across multiple disciplines. So I often think, when I think about immersive, I think about Disney World, right? Themed entertainments. Universal Studios are examples of immersive experiences where you feel the different senses, right? It's not just sight and sound anymore, but it's smells, it's touch, it's all of them in combination. Theater has really changed over the past decade, where it's participatory. Like the Speakeasy Society in Los Angeles, they create participatory theater by taking over real live spaces like hotels or mausoleums or parks, and audiences engage in theater in a new way. If any of you have been to an escape room, that's an example of an immersive experience, or a themed bar or restaurant. I always like to share with my students, there's a lot of hidden jewel bars in Los Angeles that I used to hang out with a lot. And some of them, how you entered, I remember going to one, it's called the Breakout Room 86, where you entered through the back of a hotel restaurant and had to walk through a vending machine. And then all of a sudden you were transported into a 1980s versioned themed bar. Super fun. So you've noticed what I've shared with you in regards to immersive is background, is these are experiences, these are spaces. Often when people think about immersive, they automatically jump to, I'm going to learn virtual reality, or I'm going to learn augmented reality. But those are the emerging technologies that you'll get your hands on and you'll understand and use, but it is only one component of what immersive is. So for students that are interested in this new sequence or specialization, I accept up to 48 students a year. Why, you might think, why 48? It's actually in numerology. It means creativity and immersion. So I thought it was a good number. And also, I can cap the class at 48 because we do high-end production. So you want to be able to take a number that you can actually handle. This will be an interdisciplinary class. At least 20% of students will be from other majors. And any of these adjectives describe you, you're probably in the right spot. So risk takers, team-oriented, love to be on the cutting edge of the next digital trend. You want to see the world with new eyes. These are Texas Immersive Explorers. So this is a convergence of disciplines, and there are 4 key areas that we focus on over 3 courses: audience, story, technology, and innovation. And it's a combination that will foster deep emotional connections. It'll create lasting impact. It'll prepare students for real world challenges. So you kind of walk away, you walk away from participating in Texas Immersive with really an experience designer toolkit that you can use to work with clients or work within the company that you join to really develop the future of that field. So for the courses, if you are wanting to apply to Texas Immersive, you have to complete and pass, if you're a Stan Richards School student, you have to complete and pass Advertising 325, which is Intro to Creative Advertising. That you can be in the course right now and go ahead and apply. So it doesn't mean you have to have finished it last semester. You could actually be in it right now and go ahead and apply for Texas Immersive, and we'll take into account that you're passing. For other majors who are not part of the Stan Richards School, there will be a portion of the application where I'll ask you to think about similar courses to creativity, entertainment, technology that you've used that might apply to immersive that you can share in the application. So below this prerequisite is the 3 courses. Audience, and they go in order: audience development and engagement, experimental storytelling, and immersive experiences. So the first course is audience development and engagement. And what you learn in that is we go through a framework that actually explores audience, space, and emerging technology. And you really look at those 3 in cohesion together to understand audience's intention, such as wants, needs, emotions, and motivations. You explore through emerging technology the audience's expectations and interactions with a space and technology, and then the relationship with that space, whether it's digital or physical. And the goal, by exploring this framework and doing a couple of different projects around that in teams, you begin to understand the affinities with brands and the varied ways we can activate audiences. For the next course, which is experimental storytelling, by this point, I would expect students to really be comfortable with the basics of Adobe Suite. So Photoshop, Premiere, know how to make a movie, know how to make a digital image graphically, know how to move a few things with After Effects. Because when we get into experimental storytelling, you will start to really explore the expansion of mythology and archetypes. So instead of a traditional way of thinking of story of plot that you probably learned in English, in high school English, we'll start exploring new ways of interactive narratives and how to start exploring story worlds and building and designing for story worlds through creating prototypes with a variety of emerging technologies. So you'll have a chance to learn some software skills while developing some prototype experiences that are on spec for different brands and entertainment properties. And the goal with this is that by the time you finish this class, you really understand world building scenarios and how to customize an audience's personalization and interaction and really feel like it's a rewarding, fulfilling experience. So the third course is the culmination. It's the immersive experience. And this is where you'll start working with a real world client for 15 weeks. You'll have been very comfortable working in teams. You'll understand kind of how you always need a hustler, hacker, and a designer on your team, and that each person has different affordances that they bring and contribute to the experience. And a real world client will pose a big problem that you will take time to develop an immersive experience for them. And not just on spec or just like kind of a design document, but you will actually prototype and create something as a class. And these projects will be ones that we'll submit to international competitions, so that my goal is by the time explorers from Texas Immersive graduate, they have a strong portfolio in immersive of some prototypes and at least one experience, as well as actually an award, hopefully, fingers crossed. So this convergence of disciplines in audience development, engagement, storytelling, technology, and the hard skills of innovation, these are the things you'll acquire as a student of Texas Immersive. You'll learn by the time you're done, you'll really understand motivational behavior and how to develop authentic relationships. You'll understand the technical skills needed to shape new stories that drive meaningful interactions. You'll understand the importance that immersive is not just about technology, it's about the importance of blending physical and digital in a connected environment. And through all of this, because I am an innovator, I'm going to teach you the hard skills. There are hard skills, ways of thinking like an innovator, of being an innovator, and you'll leverage those to become leaders in our field. So this is the application process. It's a two-part process. The first part is an application, and I've put a QR code here, which you can scan. It will take you right to the online Texas Immersive application, where you'll give me information, your contact information, you'll submit a media link, you'll give me 1,200 words or less to tell me why you think you're a right fit for Texas Immersive. And then part two is the experience submission. So usually I ask these submissions to be delivered to the main office at the Stan Richards School, but since we're all sheltering in place right now, I am suggesting that you still define what is immersive through your own lens. You still actually at home take any type of media format. And these media formats, they can be, you could create a board game, you can create a video game, you can create a video, an interactive video, a sculpture, puppetry, an improv. I mean, you can go to town on any type of media you use. The one thing I ask is that immersive is about participation. So there has to be some sort of call to action or way for the user to engage with your media experience. So think short form. This is something that I want to be able to look at and experience probably under about 5 minutes of time, because I'll have a lot of applications to look through. And because if you're making it physical, like let's say you're making a sculpture, I've had lots of people make different things. The first cohort, one of them created a Jenga set. And in the Jenga set, I got to play Jenga, and I realized that as I pulled out a piece, it had a clue on it. And when I put the pieces together, it gave me a number to text mobile phone, which actually revealed what they defined as immersive. So really interesting example. I wish it was at my office because I still have it at my office, the Jenga set. But a really interesting example of like how you can blend physical and digital to actually combine and create your meaning of what immersive is. So those are the two parts for the application. The application's already open. It opened up this week. It's due April 27th at noon Central Time. And by May 8th, you will hear if you've been accepted to the second cohort for Texas Immersive. And then let's see. So I'll just end here with, thinking about probably majority of you on the call are from the Stan Richards School. And I want you to realize, immersive is the future of advertising and PR. Today, brands and marketers, they're really facing transformation in our field and really developing this next dimension of immersive through extended reality. So extended reality is the umbrella term for all of these emerging technologies that are changing the way story and audience connect, how creators and audiences are building new types of relationships. So I hope you're ready to level up, to be immersed in the world of immersive. And I look forward to seeing your applications. So I'm going to pause there and introduce you to two of my explorers that have joined us today, Sarah Fong and Fatima, who are currently in the first cohort. And they can start us off with answering any questions. We all can answer any questions, but also telling you a little bit from their perspective what this program is like. Go ahead, Sarah.
Should I just
yeah
introduce myself? I'm Sarah. I'm a second year advertising and health and society major. And I guess one reason I chose to apply to immersive was because I was just really curious to see what kinds of immersive technologies actually impact people, because I feel oftentimes when I see technology, I think it's very gimmicky, and I don't think it actually interacts with me. And I thought this was a good opportunity to learn about that more. And I was also interested in how it could potentially apply to the future of advertising and maybe the future of healthcare.
And Fatima, do you want to introduce yourself?
Yeah. Hi, I'm Fatima. I'm a junior, and originally I was in Texas Creative, and similarly to Sarah, I was really interested in how emerging technology can kind of push the envelope in the advertising industry. And what I really found where the immersive track aligned with what I wanted to do was that it wasn't entirely about sort of technology and using digital things, but it was more about using physical spaces and improving them or creating entirely new experiences. And so it's kind of that perfect blend of what we already have and then pushing it to the next level. And that's really what my interest stemmed from. And so I'm really happy to be in the program and to see that there's that balance of maintaining human connection, but still pushing it to the next level that we can get it to with these emerging technologies.
Great, thanks y'all. So Tony and Corey, I see that you're still here. Do you guys have any questions for any of us?
No, I don't think I have any questions. I just want to thank y'all for coming out. I'm still a freshman PR major, and I was thinking of going into a sequence. I didn't know really which one. I was between creative and immersive, and I think hearing Fatima's experience, I think has really helped me I've been looking for a program, and I think this is a really cool program, and I appreciate y'all for coming out.
Thanks, Tony. I know that you're a freshman, but the 3 courses, I'm having the first cohort, they're kind of doubling up. A lot of them are doing audience and story combined, but my hope is going forward with this next cohort that you take one at a time. So fall will be audience development and engagement, spring will be storytelling, and then fall 2021 will be the 3rd course, immersive. So you should think it's okay to start early. I think I actually have one other freshman or sophomore in the program, so I don't mind early. I also would say, as PR, a lot of people think, PR. I actually have a few PR students, and they're incredible writers, and it really pushes us to, for them to see how iterative their writing has to be, and different types of writing styles that you need if you're part of an experience design team.
Cool.
And Corey, do you have any questions?
First, I just wanted to say thank you for the presentation. I really enjoyed it. But also, one question I have is what are the biggest challenges or any surprises that y'all have had from this first cohort from immersive and stuff?
I can take that one. So I really didn't know what I was getting into, and I'm really happy that I got into it. But going into immersive, I was under the impression that it would be really techy. And so there was like a learning curve, because I think that going in, I wasn't super literate on like the new emerging technologies. And so that was something that was a challenge for me, but it only took a couple of weeks. It's kind of that thing where when you're in an environment where everybody's super passionate about something, it becomes inherently something you're passionate about. And so there was that learning curve, but now that I'm kind of in the groove of it, I feel really excited about it. And it's really like the kind of thing that I've never pushed myself to think about before. And so if you're not 100% comfortable with the idea of these crazy technologies that you might have never heard of, it's still really cool to be in the program, because not only do you learn about them, but it's really hard to not be passionate and excited about it when everybody around you is like breathing that language.
Thank you.
Sarah, you want to add anything?
I can definitely like agree with Fatima. Like going into it, it was very like everything was super new, and like whenever anyone mentioned any technology, I was like, what? But once you figure out that there's just so much more, and like just create experiences, it's really nice to know that you have like a hub of people. Like if you just shoot any questions, like they'll come up with like a million different solutions and ideas, and that's really a good part of like working in a team, because everyone like in immersive has their own little niche and like area that they're really good at, and especially like Erin, she has like a lot of like different things she knows about. And so if you have like any small idea, like when we're creating our projects or in general, like it's really nice to just shoot ideas, and like people instantly have something that they can like help you with. And I feel like everyone immersive like honestly apply because they're interested in it, and that's really nice compared to a lot of other like maybe programs where people apply because like it seems cool or like it looks good, but it's really everyone here is genuinely interested in what they're doing, and it's really nice.
You know, it's a really good question. I have to kind of join in on this, because I've learned, I'm a lifelong learner. You'll learn that about me. I'm more than happy to get feedback from my students, and we're constantly iterating, I think, on this program. And even in this presentation, I'm making changes, learning from the first cohort and where they started and where I would like them to go. So one of the things I did realize is I kind of threw them in the deep end. I think y'all would shake your head yes on that, on making things. And I'm starting to pull back a little bit and do a couple of new things as we move forward in this program. One is with the engagement class. Right now they're doing a lot of qualitative research. They're studying and talking to people, which will keep going. But I found that since a lot of the students are doing audience and storytelling, those that aren't in storytelling and just in audience, they really haven't really tried on these experiences. So we have this Imagine Lab that everyone has access to, where you can really go and demo and try out the experiences. And even though we are shelter in place right now, I'm sending the students a lot of immersive experiences you can do from home. In the first class, I think I'm really going to push more and more into having them demo and get in this world, not just talk about it, but get in this world and try it out. And be proficient in some of the basic software skills, so that by the time we do experimental storytelling, we're learning more software skills. So while we're sheltering in place, I'm having the storytelling students really become proficient in some of the basic software. Now, it doesn't mean that long term you'll be the engineer or you'll be the multimedia artist, but I find this by practicing even the basics, you start to learn the language of development. And you, as you're developing an interdisciplinary team, you start finding that common language. So that's a big change that I'm making in storytelling. Is I think I put them too quickly into real world clients, and I'm kind of pulling back and saying this second course is going to be spec work, where they get to really practice designing and building immersive prototypes. So by the time they get to immersive, they're really working with a real world client. You know, they're really taking 15 weeks to do something as a core, you know, as a cohort, building out something that we would want the public to see.
All right, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank
So
you. I think I just have one more question.
sure,
Oh,
definitely.
I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
Yeah. I know you were talking about teams, and I know like within the text creative program, you're either like a copywriter or an art director within immersive. Do they have to choose a path, or like is everyone kind of in the same boat?
Y'all should answer that.
Yeah. So there's definitely similarities between all three programs, but I think that the things that really make Texas Creative stand out is that you're not forced to pick one role. In creative, you really have to pick.
You mean Texas Immersive, Fatima?
Yes.
Okay.
In creative, you really have to pick between like a copywriter or an art director, but in Texas Immersive, Aaron really pushes you to be every single role before you really decide what your niche is. And so in the audience development and engagement class right now, we've been rotating between being the writer, the researcher, and the developer. And for me, like I thought I would immediately be comfortable in the designer role because I am an art director and creative, but I found out that I'm actually really passionate about writing, and that's something that I couldn't have ever explored in creative because I was sort of that role of being an art director. And then of course, I think the other main differences between media, creative, and immersive is that in immersive, you'll find a really diverse group of people, whereas in media and creative, they're predominantly PR and advertising majors, but in immersive, we have like some theater people in there. We have computer science people in there. So it really is this like very interesting dynamic and collaboration between a lot of different people. And even if you are a computer science major, you're still pushed to do other things and you're not put into the box of being a programmer.
I think that's the key about being an innovator is I believe Fatima and Sarah said, I know a lot of different things, like jack of all trades, expert of none. Part of being innovation is you're an explorer, right? You're constantly pushing and wanting to look outside your field. And I think that's why I make the students try on these different roles, is because you never know what problem you're going to be asked to solve. And it requires you to know how to think differently, but actually put yourself in many different roles or disciplines. So that kind of rotation and that kind of exploration of different disciplines will, in the end, I hope, make sure that you respect the clients that you the clients and subjects you explore as you bring immersive into your field.
Mm-hmm.
Nice, thank you. That was really helpful.
Any other questions?
No, that's it for me.
Okay, great. Well, thanks, Sarah and Fatima, for coming out and sharing your insights into Texas Immersive. And I think for our first online Texas Info Session, this wasn't so bad. So encourage your friends to learn. We actually have some additional info sessions coming up throughout the week. I think I have one at least every week until the deadline. And you can always find me online or on Calendly if you want to talk about your application, or actually ask Sarah or Fatima, talk to your peers about it. I'll just jump back here to the application process if you want to grab that QR code. And if you want additional information, I'll post this video, and you can always go to advertising.utexas.edu/Texas Immersive. And there you can find out more info about the program. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.